Ich lese nur kurz nur den Chat. Ich möchte jetzt nicht vorlesen, was da genau steht. Ich finde das... naja. War ja ein Vorschlag. Ja, alles gut, Blue. Also wir können, wie gesagt, gerne zusammen sprechen. Das wäre bestimmt mega witzig. Ich weiß nicht, also was ich geil fände, wäre tatsächlich so ein Spiel mal mit mehreren Leuten zu synchronisieren. Das wird bestimmt lustig und macht bestimmt mega Spaß. Oder zumindest mal eine Folge lang. Das wäre bestimmt... Also ich würde das richtig feiern. Müssen wir auf jeden Fall mal machen, dass jeder eine Sprechrolle übernimmt. Ja, Thunder kann sowas auch total gut und müssen wir uns mal absprechen, dass wir das irgendwann mal machen. Hina sprang into action, leaving the nurse's office to chase after Sakura. The only ones left were... Oh, unangenehm. Kyoko und ich. Kyoko? Are you still mad? Yeah, I figured.
Fine.
Huh? About that issue we discussed earlier, it doesn't matter anymore. Then, do you forgive me for not being able to talk about it?
In other words...
You could have told me about Sakura and Monokuma fighting, but you stayed quiet. We were only thinking of Sakura, and that's why you didn't tell me, right? You didn't want to confuse everyone until you could talk to her and be sure of what you saw. That's what you were thinking, and that's why you didn't tell me, right? Yeah. To think like that.
I wouldn't have expected such arrogance from you.
Oh, boy. What?
Because...
Ultimately, that means you don't trust me. No, that's not it. But if that's how you feel, I can't really change your mind. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I've already forgotten about it. Besides...
And
I may have overreacted. Huh?
Anyway...
It's over and done with. Like I said, let's just forget about it. Okay, thank you. Die ist ein bisschen zickig, die Kyoko. Something else? I want to talk to you about something else. What is it you wanted to talk to me about?
Indeed.
Actually, I'd like you to come somewhere with me. I have business there. Where?
So...
Just come with me. And you'll find out. I guess, but...
Shall we go?
Well then, shall we get going? Eine kleine Zicke, ja. Aber die ist cool. Ich mag sie. With a typical indifference, Kyoko turned and walked away, setting a brisk pace. Ah, Kyoko! I hurried to catch up to her. She walked ahead in silence, and in silence I chased her. And eventually we arrived. The dressing room? So the... something else you mentioned.
Indeed.
That's right. It has to do with alter ego. But you said we didn't need alter ego anymore.
Wrong.
I didn't say we didn't need him. I just said he had done his job. Besides, it's not us that needs alter ego. He has business with us. Huh?
Right.
Alter ego asked me to bring others to come see him. Apparently, he has something he wants to ask us. Alter ego wants to ask us something?
Correct.
Okay. Hello. So it's just the two of you, Kyoko and Makoto? Kyoko's fingers glided across the keyboard. Is 2 not enough? No, it's not. It's okay. 2 should be plenty. But what is it he wants to ask us?
Indeed.
Let's find out, shall we? Kyoko typed in the question. Why did you want to ask us? Yeah, so... I'd like you to take me somewhere where you can connect me to the school network.
What?
Kyoko and I quickly glanced at each other. She replied, Why?
You see?
Well, you said my job was done, right? But to just stop here, saying I finished my work.
But
I don't want that.
I want to be able to help.
I want to keep being helpful to everyone. I want to work as hard as everyone else so that we can all get out of here.
That's right.
That's what my master would want too. So, to help everyone else. To solve the mystery of the school.
That's right.
The only way I can help is if you connect me to the school network. But if you did that, that's basically suicide. I'm positive the mastermind would find out about it. They'd find you and they'd... You agree, right, Kyoko?
So,
I realize how dangerous it could be, but still, I have to do this.
but
I'm scared, but I can handle it. Ein Programm, was Angst hat, das ist schon heftig. I don't really understand why, but
still,
when I think about everyone else, my courage starts to grow. You might think I'm just some inhuman AI, but it's true. So it's okay.
gonna do my best.
If it's for the sake of everyone else, I won't be afraid. I couldn't help but get lost in that voice. It was just too committed, too admirable, too fragile.
Hey,
You remember what you asked before, Makoto? You asked what the difference is between a person and a program, right? Yeah.
certainly.
When I talk to Alter Ego, I don't know. I have no idea how to answer that question. I think maybe that's a question even the programmer's creator can't answer. But I can say this.
Correct.
There's no question that Alter Ego is our friend. Kyoko, to be honest, I didn't want Alter Ego to push himself anymore. Because if we take any more risks, the mastermind really will notice it. But
Makoto.
let's do it, Makoto. Let's connect Alter Ego to the network. But
Hey,
he's our friend, so I want to take his feelings into consideration. And he says that he wants to fight alongside his friends.
now,
If you were in his place, could you just sit by and do nothing in this situation? If you saw everyone else fighting and doing their best, could you just look the other way? Or would you stand up? Stand up tall next to everyone else and tell them you're their friend?
So,
Hey, are you guys fighting? If it's about me, please don't.
I want to believe in myself.
I want to be able to say, I know I can do this.
Leave it to me.
So please, let me try.
listen.
And besides, there's one place where the mastermind might not notice. One place?
That's right.
Remember? There's another place beside here where there's no surveillance camera. A room without a surveillance camera. A secret room. That's it, the secret room you told me about. I definitely remember where there was no surveillance camera in there.
Indeed.
And I do believe you can connect to the network from there. I remember seeing an Ethernet port on the wall. Krass. Stimmt, da war eine.
However,
Just because there's no camera there doesn't mean there's no danger. There's no way to be sure the mastermind isn't monitoring the network somehow. Well, we'll also have to move Alter Ego and the mastermind might spot us going into the secret room. If they pick up on any of this, then it's all over. You're right.
That's what we have to do.
But despite all that, I still think we need to try.
Correct.
Because that's our best chance of finding any new clues. Kyoko. In that case, will you let me carry him? There's no way you could hide him with what you're wearing, right? So let me do it.
It's true.
Okay then, I'll leave it to you. Thank you.
So then...
Then let's get started. It's gonna be a little cramped for you, alter ego. Bear with us, okay? We started packing him up right away. I closed the laptop and stuffed it underneath my jacket. It tickles. What? Shh, you can't talk right now. We're going to move you to another room. Until we get there, you have to be absolutely silent, okay? Understood. Your command has been implemented. Good. To have him react like a machine like that all of a sudden, I didn't know how to react.
Makoto.
In the secret room, there are a bunch of different cables in one of the desk drawers. So there might be the network cable in there.
However,
assuming the mastermind hasn't taken it already. All we can do is go and check for ourselves.
it's true.
Agreed. Let's head to the secret room. Okay, dann. Secret Room war welche Etage? Zweite? Erste, zweite? Who can remember that? Huh? Hiro. What? Makoto! What the? Why do you seem so surprised? Nothing's wrong. Why would anything be wrong? It's actually really strange. Well, I guess he's always acting really strange. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to my room now. Take a easy, partner. See ya. Boah, habe ich mich erschrocken. Ich weiß nicht, hat man das gehört? Das war für laut. Und ist hier. Oh man. Alter, kannst dich auch nicht so erschrecken. Genocide Jill.
Have you reached that certain age?
My obsession? What are you doing? Leaving! I see. Anyway, I'm headed back to my room. I'll just be there leaving to totally go. Oh mein Gott, die ist echt durch, die Frau. War das hier? Nein, das war nicht hier.
Just a second.
This isn't where we need to go.
Hey.
Come on, we have to hurry. Sorry, ich habe mich im Klo vertan.
Hey.
Was ist es? Are you sure all the documents are gone? I refuse to believe you. Go and check again. What?
Listen to me.
Just hurry up and go. And to make sure you don't run off, I'm gonna wait right here. Oh, I get it, she's acting. She was so forceful, I thought I'd make her mad again somehow.
Just a second.
Why are you just standing here? Hurry up and go! Okay, I'm going.
So then...
And be thorough. I'm counting on you. Okay, first we have to find a network cable. According to Kyoko, there should be a bunch of cables in this drawer. Found it! This is a network cable, right? Sieht so aus, ne? Was ist wirklich Ethernet? Also... Ist das ein Ethernet-Kabel? Ah, ich dachte, es wäre so ein LAN-Kabel, oder ist es das gleiche? Okay. Ich dachte, es wäre irgendwie unterschiedlich, aber okay. Now we just have to connect Alter Ego. I immediately got to work. I pulled out the laptop and connected it to the Ethernet port with the cable. And that should do it. Oder hat sogar ein, er hat sogar, wenn ich das richtig sehe, ein Netzkabel zum Aufladen vom Laptop angeschlossen. Ich habe mich schon gewundert. Geht das nicht bald leer? Das Laptop?
That's right.
I think it worked.
Leave it to me.
Just leave the rest to me. I swear I'll find something. I might even be able to connect to the outside world. If I can, I'll see if I can call for help. So please, just wait a little while longer.
I'm gonna
Just hold
do my best.
tight and put your faith in me. As I was about to leave, I decided to leave him with one last thing. No matter what, we're gonna get out of here. You and all the rest of us as friends. Friends? Even me?
Thank you.
Thank you, Makoto.
Makoto.
How did it go? Well, it went okay, but all the documents were gone, just like I told you. My reply was an unintentional mix of acting and real feelings.
Correct.
I see. Then there's nothing left for us here.
Goodbye.
Before I knew it, Kyoko was walking away. She wasn't acting anymore. That much was for sure. Kyoko!
What?
Yes? So we're just gonna split up?
Why is that?
Of course, I have no reason to stay with you at this point. Well, maybe, but isn't that a little too direct?
Whew.
Should I hesitate and fumble for something to say? You're so high maintenance. That's not what I meant. I just had more I wanted to talk to you about. Like, what are you going to do about Sakura?
It's true.
Well, something has to be done, it's true.
However,
But the way things are right now, there's no way to persuade anyone. They don't have the mind to listen. Then what should we...
so...
If we can find some new clue, that would likely change the situation. That's all we can hope for right now. Which is why Alter Ego...
Correct.
All we can do is wait and believe in our friends. You're right. That's our only option. We parted ways and I headed back to my room. I'm kinda tired. So I laid down in bed. Also ich wäre wahrscheinlich auch sehr erschöpft nach so einer Action, ungesehen mit einem Laptop durch die Gänge zu laufen. Maybe it was because of the stress of moving Alter Ego, but I was way more tired than I realized. So before long at all bin ich eingeschlafen. I had completely dozed off. Ding dong, ping pong. Huh? The sharp sound of the doorbell pierced my sleepy haze and pulled me back to the real world. Geh mal an die Tür, Junge.
Makoto.
Get out of here. Was? Kyoko, what's going on?
Indeed.
Hina just came to see me and she was white as a ghost. It sounds like something's happened. What? As soon as I heard those words, my heart started to beat a little faster. I suddenly found myself wide awake. She said for us to come to the rec room. The rec room? Okay, let's hurry. Hina, what? Get up! Huh? Makoto, Kyoko! Hina, what's wrong? Something's not right. In the rec room. What's inside? There was a window on the rec room door and I hurried to look inside. And when I did... Sakura? Is she unconscious? She's sitting up in the chair like she's bowing her head.
Hey.
What's going on? Did something happen to her?
Huh?
I was just walking past and I happened to notice her through the window. But I couldn't get the door open. I tried knocking, I tried calling her name, but she wouldn't respond. So what should we do? What are we gonna do?
Anyway.
First of all, we need to get into that room. But the door's locked, right? And if we break in, we'll be violating school regulations.
Listen to me.
We're going to force our way in. I just said...
Wrong.
The door isn't locked. It's not locked because the rec room door doesn't have a lock. Huh? Then why?
It would seem...
It feels like the door's pressing up against something inside the room. Is it the chair? Chair?
In other words...
Either way, this door isn't locked, which means as far as I can tell, the rule doesn't apply. Then, there's no problem if we break in?
Indeed.
Let's smash the window. That should be the fastest way. Okay, I'll go get something to break it with. Wait right here. Inside the rec room, Sakura still hadn't moved an inch. She's just unconscious, right? Is she okay? I mean, it's Sakura, so I'm sure. Kyoko didn't reply. There was only silence, but that silence didn't last long. Here! I found a broom in the classroom. Use it!
Makoto.
You can handle this, right, Makoto?
Please!
Come on, please, hurry! Okay, you two, stand back. I took hold of the broom and swung as hard as I could, aiming directly at the window. All it took was one solid hit. Crash! The window shattered into 100 pieces, scattering across the rec room floor. I stuck my hand through the now open window and started jostling the chair leaning against the door. The chair's pretty heavy, but if I can just... I pushed on it with all my strength and finally the knob turned. Sakura! I ran up to her as fast as I could, but the moment I laid my hand on her, all I felt was cold death. I could feel only the last lingering warmth of a living body. Life had abandoned Sakura's body, and then...
A body has been discovered! After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin!
Danganronpa.
Huh? Sakura's dead? She's really dead?
I heard Hina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I could only look on at Sakura's dead body. We didn't make it in time. It's happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to gently inspect Sakura's body. I wondered, was she confirming that Sakura really was dead? Checking for a pulse or a reaction? I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room, and I... Why? Why did this have to happen? That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there, motionless, behind her, while she checked Sakura's corpse. Time passed. While I stood there, unable to do a thing, time just passed. And after I don't know how long, I got everyone.
What?
Oh, Ogre!
Yes.
Oh, she's dead, huh?
I see.
Sakura's been killed, I see. As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began.
Just a second.
You heard the announcement just now, right? So you know what this means. Sakura was murdered, and by someone in this very room. Is that what you were going to say?
Huh?
No! Whoever killed her, it's not just someone in this room.
It's your fault!
It was one of you! Hiro, Byakuya, Toku, one of you killed Sakura!
What?
You're accusing us before we've even begun the investigation? I don't need to investigate anything. Because you hated her. You hated the sight of her.
I won't forgive you.
One of you did it. I know it. You know it?
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Jeez, I didn't know your power level would increase by that much just by getting mad. So, sag mal gute Nacht und verabschiede mich. Ich wünsche euch noch einen tollen Stream. Gute Nacht, Blue. Danke, dass du da warst. Vielleicht können wir das nächste Mal ja, wie gesagt, zusammen Voice Action machen. Voice Acting. Schlaf gut und träum was Schönes. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bad bugs bite. Jeez, I didn't know your power level would increase by that much just by getting mad.
What the heck?
What are you doing here?
Come on.
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to hand out my little murder flyer.
The Monokuma file.
That's right. It's the next Monokuma file. Ja, das hat er gesagt. And don't get so mad, Miss Asahina. You're gonna ruin the cute little face of yours. Now then, with that Hold on. There's something I want to ask you. It was you, wasn't it? You killed Sakura. How? Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind to a duel. Maybe you and her fought again and then I killed her? Sorry, not quite. Actually, not even close. The whole thing is really irrelevant now. Sakura came to a most regrettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Which, thank God for that. It saved me the trouble of having to go through with our little fight. Because even for someone like me, it would have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that.
Hey,
I gotta tell ya, I was actually pretty worried. I mean, she'd violated a rule by attacking me in the first place, but I wasn't able to punish her. So I don't know who it was, but whoever the blackened is, this time I owe you one.
what is this?
You owe them one? Oopsie, before you get all busy-body at me, you better figure out who did it first. Because I mean, your lives are all on the line, right?
What is this?
What the hell? He owes them one?
I won't forgive you.
I hate him. I hate this whole thing. Well, I, for one, am glad it was Sakura. She was working for the mastermind after all. How can you say that now? Sorry, I don't have time for your squabbling. The next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura.
Anyway,
Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. If we can't do that, we're all dead. Then let's decide who will stand guard this time. I'll do it. Hina? I'm okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here with Sakura.
That's fine.
Okay, then Hina is guard number 1, but we need one more. Kyoko, that's you.
What?
Me? You're always a thorn in my side. This time just stand by and watch quietly. Consider that an order. An order?
That's fine.
Fine, I'll stay behind. Then it's settled. Let's begin, shall we? Hold on. Before that, there's something I want to say.
What?
Which is... Hiro, Byaku, and Toko, none of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene. What?
It's your fault!
One of you killed Sakura.
I won't forgive you.
I won't let someone like that come anywhere near her.
Stop talking.
Don't be stupid. Our lives are just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura anywhere near her. Even if it means I have to use force, you're not getting in here. Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise?
It's all clear now.
I won't ask you to let all of us in. Just let me. You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway.
Yep.
Nope. Don't really care. I'd rather spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway. And you, Hiro? Do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care?
It's all clear now.
Then it's decided.
What are you saying?
Nothing's decided.
Calm down.
I know how you feel, Hina, but you should agree to this request. But
Hey,
we have to find out who killed Sakura.
correct.
For those of us still alive and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine, I guess that's okay. But no matter what, Byaku, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her. Naturally, who would want to touch a filthy dead body?
Listen.
That's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer,
Listen to me.
all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura. It's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to do it. It's kind of hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. I'd better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of the strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noticed. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood.
Hey,
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why is that?
so...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut with the chair from inside the rec room. Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. So if the door was locked from the inside and there was no way in or out, still we broke the window. There's like zero escape, right?
In other words,
It's like zero escape, right? In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before your very eyes like this?
hey,
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
that's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches including using a string or a simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh.
In other words,
Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
however,
But in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list.
it's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other words,
They stay hidden, and when the door is opened, they use the confusion to blend it with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. Oh, das mache ich auch manchmal in Among Us. Hey! Man ist dann plötzlich da und sagt dann, ich war doch die ganze Zeit über bei euch. Ich habe mich nur im Vent versteckt. Und dann kam man raus. Kennen wir doch, ne? Das könnte man alles in Among Us ausprobieren. Ich meine, als Imposter kannst du die Türen schließen. Die Tür schließen, jemanden umbringen oder jemanden umbringen, dann die Tür schließen und dann durchs Vent verschwinden. Dann würden alle denken, ha, Türen sind zu... Naja, egal. Anderes Spiel. That sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
it's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked
In
room?
other words,
By that I mean there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one of two?
indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities? Then, Kyoko, which of those 4 choices seem the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura. If nothing else. Okay. Was machen wir? Reden wir zuerst mit den Leuten? Ich rede mit Byakuya. Was sagt der denn? What do you want? You're bothering me. Go away. He's not even trying to hide how much he despises me. I'd better go before he crushes my soul completely. Tja, hör auf.
What the heck?
We already know who did it. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all 3 of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me... She said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon, the Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I stopped her, by force even, this never would have happened. Gina, it's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Oi's account has been added to the truth bullet sections of your handbook. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place, she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. Yakuya?
What?
What do you want? There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true. I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do that, it's said, and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Yakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. For nothing. Yakuya's account has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook.
However,
but for Sakura to have been killed. Yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
it's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate material artist, strong in body, mind and spirit. Oh man, she was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind and spirit. Boah, aber das ist echt... So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
They wouldn't need it to if they expected to stand by any chance against her. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened of course when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Okay. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance to the room.
So...
It looks like a protein drink, and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments?
Wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know, but still this protein can... It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Huh? What is?
Hey.
You see what scattered around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
Correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can, they are also underneath it. Why does that matter?
So...
I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. An important clue? I'm not sure I see how. Empty protein drink has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Der Stuhl. Der steht jetzt daneben. The chair has shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done it. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening, and there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked room or the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. Rec room door has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. There's no Uhr. It's around 1 o'clock right now. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura died around 12 noon, so roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving alter ego? Huh? The lockers are open and they're on the inside. It's a handprint?
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and it left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locker room was opened, don't you think? And during all the confusion they popped out and joined the rest of the group?
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not?
Hey.
Think back, before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then, what does this handprint mean? Locker handprint has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. There's blood auf dem Boden. There's a bloodstain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Magazine shelf bloodstain has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. The same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. Hä? Ist das so nötig? There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is how they get those figures inside the bottles.
So...
It's no different from your standard chip in a bottle. Huh? You know where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I have.
In other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. Monokuma bottle has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. This looks like some kind of wrapper. Huh? Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well...
Yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura? I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like 'em. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. Okay. You really like them that much?
'Cause, I mean...
But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one of herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Polka's dot candy wrapper has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. Glass shards on the floor has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Huh, there's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things little by little. The Monokuma bottles sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle, which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with the Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. Ich habe mir sie noch nicht angeguckt. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So, what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Status of Sakura's body has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Yakuya.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Do you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died.
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so for the most part.
So then.
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
Listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided. She's got a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right, I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they will have to say. Mal gucken, wo die beiden sind. Those other 2 probably went back to their rooms. Ach, wirklich? Naja, wenigstens muss ich nicht selber den ganzen Weg gehen. Das ist unser Zimmer. Das war Mondos, Yakuya, Sayaka, Junko, Toko. Boah, schon so viel kaputt, ey. Celeste. Toko. Halt, Toko lebt noch. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
Who's there?
are the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
What do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously, annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you.
Well...
I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said too, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit it, I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but accept it as a fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Toko's account has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. With Hiro. Chihiro. Auch Hiro. Aoi, Sakura, Leon, Yasuhiro. I pressed the doorbell. Ding dong. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yep. Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
What?
How do you know about that?
Could it be?
Did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Olga told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that?
What?
Oh, well... When she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note.
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others like in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura?
Got it all wrong.
No way, I totally didn't. Why would I have ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually...
The last time I saw Olga was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office.
Don't look at me!
I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me that note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on!
Sorry, looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile and on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Huh?
What?
Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on!
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Olga asked me to with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Pocket trash has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find one more about the protein can we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So, where should I start? Where should we start? So, da vielleicht. Mann, warum haben die mich nicht direkt dahin teleportiert, wo ich brauche? Okay, das ist hier. Wo ist ein Chem Lab nochmal gewesen?